Hello! Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. The cards I'm using for this week are The Art of Love Tarot by Denise Jarvie, artwork by Tony Carmine Salerno. Let's see if we can get that all in there and then get a little closer so you can freeze frame and get the spellings of that if you want. There is a website on the back. It is blueangelonline.com. There's even some verbiage there if you're interested in it. That's for the tarot portion. And the Oracle cards, Magical Spell Cards by Lucy Cavendish, illustrated by Jesse Reish, and at the bottom is the website hayhouse.com. And lastly, I do use dice for this. They're from amazon.com. This is what they are. They're metal dice. I use the 20 dice for the major arcana. 21 is missing, obviously, but I just work with it. And then for the minor arcana, I use the 4 dice, the 1 through 4, to decide which element. So I start with fire, earth, water, air. That's how I do it. Fire, earth, I think so. And then whatever that lands on, that's what I go with. And then it's a 1 to 12 dice. 1 being the ace and 12 being the knight. I just work, it doesn't have the queen and king, but I roll with it. It works for me, in case you're wondering. All right, thank you for tuning into this week, and now on to your read. Hello, Cancer. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These reads are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Cancer? No, nothing's really bad. Okay, this seems to involve somebody else. Okay. I'm trying to, when I'm seeing this, I want to say this is justice, normally. I want to say the 11 is justice. Whatever the situation is, you've helped this person before. You have. You've done well. And in the past, it's made sense. I feel like you've helped this person before. And in the past, it's made sense. I keep getting that. It's somebody you've helped and you do keep an eye out for. So what I'm already getting is this person does have the tools and the knowledge. So it's not only like they have the knowledge to drive the car and they have a car. So that's what I mean by tools and the knowledge. They have the car and they know how to drive it. You've done that for them. You've helped them get the car. You've taught them how to drive it. So that's like the analogy. You've done this for them. And at the time, it made sense. Like, before they knew how to drive a car, they needed somebody to teach them. Before they had one, they needed somebody to help them figure out how to get one. So you helped with that. You did well. There's good and bad coming up, just to be fair. They're making a bad choice, is what I'm getting. And at first, I think they're going to hide it from you. 5 of Pentacles. I feel like they might hide it for a temporary short period. And I see them trying to fix it on their own. Okay, so they're trying to fix it on their own. This isn't bad. This isn't bad, but it makes me uncomfortable because I don't think they're including you in trying to... It's like they're trying to do it on their own. 2 of Pentacles and the Star card reversed. There's something about manipulation going on here. It's like they're hitting a problem. It has something to do with the same thing that you helped them with. So if we're going to use the car analogy, I feel like they're somebody is getting them to make a bad decision. They've come a long way. They have the car. They know how to drive it, but it's like they're making a bad decision. I don't want to use this analogy, but I feel like I kind of should. So it's kind of like somebody deciding, yeah, I can have 3 or 4 drinks and I can drive, which I know that sounds like a rough analogy, but that's what I'm getting. So they're making this decision, and it's not going well. There is definitely another learning curve for making this bad decision. They're definitely going to learn a lesson here. This is going to be painful. They're trying to keep it from you at first, but they've learned something. It's just, I feel like they've learned it the hard way. They've learned something the hard way. This didn't have to go this way, but if this reading is going to hit, it's probably already happened. They need to clean this up on their own. You've done your job helping. You've taught them well. You have helped them help this. You've got this situation to where they could make this decision. They made a decision. Can we get more on this? Because I understand that very heartfelt. You have very heartfelt feelings for this. Ace of Cups, yeah. Ace of Cups with the 7, which is the Chariot, which is ironically, that's your card. Half in, half out. Your heart goes out to this person. I feel like you immediately realize like that was a bad decision. But you also have compassion for this person at the same time. Ace of Cups is telling me like, I want to help them get out of this mess, but they have to answer to what they did. I do feel like whatever this is, you have the ability to make this easier for them. The question is, should you be? And the reason that's coming in is like, if you make this easy for them, you might be surprised, but they're destined to repeat this. If you do not help them, which is hard, I feel like this is really hard for Cancer. If you do not help them, they could learn this lesson this time and not repeat it. But if you do help them, I get that they will repeat this. This will happen again. They need to get out of this mess on their own. You won't let them crash and burn, but they need to struggle. I know that may sound harsh, but they really do need to struggle. They're learning this lesson the hard way. If somebody takes them out of the problem and kind of solves it for them, it may be a few years, but they will repeat this, and the next time they repeat this, it might be more harsh. Keep that in mind too. So it's kind of like, if they made that bad decision, it's kind of like they got caught at a traffic stop, and nobody else got physically hurt, but like their insurance is in trouble. Maybe they had some jail time for it. I don't know how that works. But if they have to rectify it themselves, this could be a one-time thing with this. It could be. It depends on how they handle it. Free will is a real thing. I mean, they need to suffer with this. I'm sorry. I know this sounds harsh, but if they suffer with it, it's less likely they're going to repeat it. But if they don't suffer with it, it's more likely they're going to repeat it. Like if you're, you know what I mean? You know what I mean. I know you know what I mean. If this is hitting with you, you know what I mean. What they're saying do not do is try to help them figure out what to do with it. Don't make it easier for them. You want to support them and have compassion, but do not give them ideas on what to do differently. Do not give them ideas on how to make this easier on them. Do not help them out of this situation. Be there for them in the sense of like, all right, now that you're not allowed to drive your car, you lost your license for that. I'll see what I can do to help you get a ride to work. Maybe you're not going to be the one giving them the ride to work, but maybe there's somebody else that can. And you'll help them. Like if they ask you to, maybe that much would be okay, but be careful with that. Because I'm holding these cards, like, don't do that. Don't do that. Get them to solve their own problem. So like, okay, they can't find a way to work now, then what are they going to do? Do not try to find them another way to work. Make them find their own way. Make them find their own way to solve that problem. Do not give them ideas. Do not help them solve this problem. That's going to create a pattern. It's going to create a cycle because you pulled them out of the fire, and they need to go. They need to struggle. They need to find their own way. Like, are they going to lose that job because of this? Are they going to be able to find one? You're not going to let them crash and burn. So if they did lose the job and they had to like find another place to live, they possibly could live with you. But then you're like, well, find somewhere you can walk to get a job, because the way my life is, I can't do that. I can't be driving you everywhere. So, try to make it happen on your own. Ironically, it's harsh. I know that's hard. But they're saying, well, if you let things play out the way they need to, it's hard. This will change. This will make a big change, because I feel like this person is going to find out who really is there for them and who is not. It's ironic that they know that you're loyal, but like, do not. I feel like that creativity is like you going forward and trying to solve it for them. I don't think they're going to approach you and try to get you to solve it for them. I feel like your heart's going to go out to them and you're going to move forward and try to help them. That's what they're saying don't do. Let them come to you and ask them what, and when if they say like, I don't know what I'm going to do, tell them, call their friends and see if the friends that got them into this mess can get them out. Do not offer them solutions. Be there for them and kind of like, well, I'm sure you'll work it out, but the friends that got you into this, see if they can get you out. They need to see who these other connections are. I don't think the connection you have with this person is in question. I feel like it's the other people around them, and they have to like really see, like, when the chips are down, the people who helped them get into this mess, are those people going to get them out of this mess? And I feel like that's where the breakdown needs to happen. They need to find that the people that they thought they needed to impress or be liked by are not going to be the people that back them up. I feel like that's where I'm supposed to go with this. Do not offer solutions. If they want to talk to you, if they come to you, talk with them. Ask them to talk to you about how they got in that position, because I feel like that's going to be uncomfortable. You want them to tell you how they got where they are, why they made that decision. Get them into that conversation, because I feel like they're going to kind of like, I don't want to do that. I feel like that's what's going to happen. I don't want to do that. Let them leave. That's fine. Make sure that, just make it uncomfortable. Like, don't make it comfortable. Don't offer them solutions. Ask them to tell you how they got where they are. Get them to do that. Don't give solutions. Like, you want them to be giving the information. You don't want to be giving ideas. You don't want to lead them forward. Like, am I missing anything with this? Because this has to break down. This needs to break down. It's weird. It's going to be success. It's going to be justice, but it's not going to feel like it to them. It's going to be painful, but this needs to break down. They need to see people for who they really are, and they need to realize they're following the wrong crowd here, but they need to come to that on their own terms. If you try to show it to them, if you try to give them those answers, they're not going to get it. They're going to be like, oh, they'll improve, or oh, it's not that bad, or oh, you don't want to hear about that person. I'll pretend like I'm not friends with them anymore, or whatever. That needs to break down on its own. That needs to come to its own demise. This situation is supposed to work out well. If you go in there and give ideas and try to help them figure out what to do next, this teaching moment doesn't come out for them. Prosperity is supposed to happen to them, but it's supposed to be the hard road. The hard road is that lesson that you don't forget. You know what I mean? It's kind of like if you like watching TV and you break your TV, or, if you like being on your phone and you break your phone and you're the one who has to like suffer without it for a long time, and then you have to save up to get another one, you remember what that's like. So whatever you did to lose that phone, like, I'm going to use phone as an analogy actually. So you get a phone. Phones are not cheap. At least the nicer phones are not. You get a nice phone, you like your phone, something happens, you get upset, and you whip it across the room, it hits the wall, boom, it's fried, it's done. You can't fix it. It's not really fixable. It's just, you whipped it across the room, it hit the wall, splat, it's done. If you don't have the money to replace that, you may have to find another way to communicate. You may have to get a cheaper phone that you don't like. If you suffer with that for 4 or 5 months, and then you finally have the money you can spend on getting the quality phone you want again, that time you spent without that phone is going to be painful. When you finally get it back and you get mad and you're like, you're going to think twice before you whip it across the room and hit the wall, because you're like, I don't want to spend 4 or 5 months without it. I'm going to put the phone down, walk away, and cool down and kind of think about what's going on. But if you get them another phone right away, and you're like, you can pay me back when you can, they're not going to feel that pain of disconnect. You know what I mean? Before they're done paying you back for the first phone, they might break the second one. You know what I'm saying? That's the point. The thing is, Cancer has a huge heart. It is extremely loyal to people they love. So this is hard for you to watch this happen, but I feel like if I've said this right and it does really hit, I feel like you understand why this is the better way to do it, and I feel like you can do it because you want this person's future to be better. And that would be the reason Cancer would be able to do this, seeing like, this person that I love will have a better future if I hold back. Because that's what you want for them. You want the best for them. You want the prosperity for them. That's how you get that prosperity for them. That's how you do it. If this reading is hitting, of course. All right, I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email. jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.